I'll admit that a pet peeve of mine is so-called service dogs coming on planes and restaurants and other places where they generally should not be. I love dogs. But so many of the ones we see with the bright vests bought on the internet sure don't seem to be doing much service. The most important point is that it really hurts the individuals who genuinely need trained service animals. Now, this is nothing new. I tweeted about this 6 years ago when I saw a super cute pooch, as I put it, at the airport with what looked like a self-made service dog vest. A poll conducted by the Assistance Dogs International found that 92% of respondents had encountered fake, questionable, or uncontrolled service dogs in their time as a service dog user. And look, I don't know what anyone's disability may be. Some are visible, some are not. I'm not making any judgments. But there's definitely an epidemic of fake service animals and people who are trying to take advantage of the system. The American with Disabilities Act defines service animals as dogs that are individually trained to do work or perform tasks for people with disabilities. The key words are dogs, not pigs, not peacocks. Yes, both have been used as emotional support animals. And then there's this guy who last week got banned from the chain store Buc-ee's for life after bringing his service duck into the store. A woman was even escorted off a plane for attempting to bring an emotional support squirrel onto a flight, saying they said, either you walk off the plane or I'm going to arrest you for trespassing and we'll take that squirrel. She said, you're not taking my squirrel. Sorry, you're not. I refuse. You will not take my baby from me. Service dogs are working animals. They're not just pets. They have specific training that allows them to guide people who are blind, alert people who are deaf, detect the onset of a seizure, remind people to take medication, among many other tasks, small and big. And they can do some seriously amazing work, like aiding an individual who's fainting in public, assisting a wheelchair-bound person at a graduation. States are beginning, finally, to crack down. Texas recently passed a bill that increases fines for people who misrepresent an animal as a service animal. California passed a law that would require mental health practitioners to establish a relationship with clients before prescribing an emotional support animal, even charging them with fines or facing disciplinary actions if they violate the law. And Florida even making it so that fraudsters can face possible jail time, making misrepresenting a service animal punishable by 60 days in jail and 30 hours of community service. I recently talked to Jas Leverette, founder of Cali K9 and the star of K9 Intervention on Netflix, about all of this. Thanks so much for coming on the program. Appreciate it. All right, so what is your take on this? You're a professional. You're in this world. What is your general take on what's been happening with service dogs?
Well, thanks so much for having me, first off. Well, you know, it seems to be an epidemic. A lot of people are definitely trying to abuse the system. There are people who need psychiatric service dogs and mobility needs. And it's what's happening is you get a lot of people who are lying, who are they just want to have, you know, the discount on the rent. They want the discount on the flight. They want to be able to take their little pooch everywhere. And it really is kind of getting out of control. We definitely see a whole uptick of dogs that don't even have the abilities to do anything. I mean, let alone regular obedience. Then they're supposed to perform extra tasks that the dog doesn't even know how to do. So yeah, I agree. I definitely think it's getting a little bit out of control for sure.
It seems to me that calling out these fraudsters is actually a good thing for the service animal industry, right? That we want people to take this seriously. We don't want it to get to the point where they just have to ban all animals from coming on planes or going in restaurants because so many people have been lying about it.
Yeah, well, I think there is a true need, especially for the psychiatric service dogs. I mean, you have dogs that literally do calm people down, and you can do things like deep pressure therapy, or where they come and nudge you, or they make a blockade from another person getting too close to you. So some people really need this because some people deal with psychiatric problems, a lot of post-traumatic problems. So it's definitely a need for it, but I definitely think there needs to be more of a regulation. I think that they need to actually, you know, do some serious training and not just go through a website and be able to just press a button and get the paperwork that allows them to have all this access.
Businesses are only allowed to ask 2 questions about service animals, according to the Americans with Disabilities Act. Number 1, is the dog a service animal required because of a disability? 2, what work or task has the dog been trained to perform? And again, I think the second question is probably going to be where someone's either going to have to lie about it or they're going to have to come clean.
Yeah, and I think the best thing would be to be able to have to call them to task and actually perform it. But again, that's gonna, that just gets into a lot of people's rights, and most people are not going to be able to have those behaviors be performed. But it is one of those things that, like, how do you regulate it? It's going to be something that needs to, a lot of people are going to want to have lawsuits and everything else because of being harassed. They're going to look at it like they're being harassed. So I definitely think it's something that needs to be regulated.
I'm okay with tough punishments for people who are making it up. When it's discovered that they lied, that they were basically committing a fraud, I'm okay with tough punishments for those people.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just think that, people don't need to, there's people who abuse so many different things in this world. And, it's kind of we have this soft, you have people in California who are committing crimes and robbing people and they're getting out of jail. So, I don't think that the service dog is going to be able to, people aren't going to really take it as serious because we have really bigger issues that are actually going on every day, especially in California.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.